There is a reason you are seeing this. Not later, not tomorrow, but right now. You didn't scroll past this by accident. Something inside you, something quiet but persistent, stopped you. And if you're still here, listening, feeling this slight pull in your chest, then you already know. This isn't just another video, this is a mirror, because you've been calling yourself something that was never true. Lazy. You've whispered it to yourself on the days you couldn't move. You've felt it crawling under your skin when you procrastinated again, when you delayed, when you stared at your phone instead of doing what you should be doing. And maybe no one said it out loud, but you felt it anyway. That quiet shame, that invisible weight. Why can't I just do it? Why is it so easy for others and so hard for me? And slowly, without even realizing it, you started believing the lie that something is wrong with you. But listen carefully, because this is the moment everything begins to shift. You are not lazy, you are programmed. And once you see it, once you really see it, you can never unsee it again. Take a breath, because what you're about to understand will either challenge everything you've believed about yourself or finally set you free. You weren't born avoiding your dreams. You weren't born stuck. You weren't born scrolling for hours, overthinking, doubting, freezing. You were taught, conditioned, rewired, slowly, silently, over years. Every time you were told, be realistic, every time you tried and failed, and someone made you feel small, every time you were compared, judged, rushed, misunderstood, your mind started creating patterns, not to destroy you, but to protect you, because your brain doesn't care about your dreams, it cares about survival, and somewhere along the way, it decided, it's safer not to try, it's safer to delay, it's safer to stay where you are. So when you think you're being lazy, what's actually happening is your mind is running a program designed to keep you from pain. Read that again, slowly. You are not lazy, you are running a protection program. And the scary part? You didn't choose it. But here's the powerful part. You can change it, because once a program is seen, it can be rewritten. But first, you have to feel the truth of this. Think about the last time you tried to do something important, something that mattered to you. Maybe it was starting something new, working on your goals, becoming consistent. And what happened? You told yourself, I'll start in a minute, then another minute, then another hour, then tomorrow. And deep inside, you knew you were avoiding it, but you didn't know why. So you blamed yourself. You said, I'm just lazy. But what if, in that exact moment, your mind was trying to protect you from failure, from judgment, from discomfort? What if that resistance was not weakness, but fear, wearing a different face? And what if, instead of fighting yourself, you started understanding yourself? Because understanding changes everything. There's a quiet truth most people never realize. You don't act based on what you want. You act based on what you believe is safe. Let that sink in. Not what you want, what you feel safe doing. And if your mind has been programmed to associate action with stress, effort with pain, trying with failure, then of course you won't move. Of course you'll freeze. Of course you'll delay. Not because you're lazy, but because your system is protecting you from a version of reality it thinks is dangerous. And the moment you see this clearly, something inside you softens. Because now, it's not, what's wrong with me? It becomes, what happened to me? And that question is where healing begins. Because now you're not attacking yourself anymore. You're understanding yourself, and that changes everything. Close your eyes for a second, and remember a moment when you were excited about something, when you wanted to do something badly, but you didn't. Feel that moment. What stopped you? Was it really laziness, or was it a quiet voice that said, what if you fail? What if it's not good enough? What if people judge you? That voice, That's the program, and you've been listening to it for so long. You started believing it was you, but it's not you. It's just a voice that was installed, and now you're about to uninstall it. But not by force, not by pressure, not by trying harder, because force only strengthens resistance. Instead, you shift it with awareness and a new identity. And this is where everything begins to transform, because you don't break a program by fighting it. You replace it with something stronger, something deeper, something true. And this is your new truth. Say it slowly. I am not lazy. I am reprogramming my mind. Again, I am not lazy. I am reprogramming my mind. Feel it this time. I am not lazy. I am reprogramming my mind. Let it land. Because this isn't just a sentence. This is your new identity forming. Every time you feel stuck, every time you hesitate, every time you start to judge yourself, you come back to this. I am not lazy. I am reprogramming my mind. And something powerful happens when you repeat it. Your brain starts listening. It starts questioning the old belief. It starts loosening the grip of that old program. And slowly, you begin to move, not because you forced yourself, but because resistance is dissolving. Because now, you're not fighting yourself anymore. You're working with yourself. And that changes everything. There was once someone, just like you, who believed they were lazy for years. They had dreams, big ones, ideas, passion, vision. But every time they tried, they stopped, delayed, quit, and the label followed them everywhere. Lazy. Until one day, they heard something simple. You're not lazy, you're protecting yourself. And for the first time, they didn't feel broken. They felt understood. So instead of forcing action, they got curious. They asked, what am I afraid of? And the answers came quietly. Failure, judgment, not being enough. And instead of running, they sat with it. They felt it. They accepted it. And then, they changed the story. I am not lazy. I am reprogramming my mind. Day by day, little by little. They started showing up. Not perfectly, not all at once, but differently. And over time, their life changed. Not because they became someone new, but because they finally stopped believing a lie. And now, this is your moment. Right here, right now. You don't need to wait for motivation. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to see clearly. You are not lazy. You are programmed. And programs can be changed. So from this moment on, when you feel stuck, pause. Don't judge. Don't attack yourself. Just notice and repeat. I am not lazy. I am reprogramming my mind. Again, I am not lazy. I am reprogramming my mind. Let it echo inside you, because something is shifting, even if you can't see it yet. And if something inside you feels different right now, even slightly, stay with this. Don't let this be just another moment that passes, because there are more layers to uncover, more truths waiting for you. And something tells me, this is only the beginning for you. There is a reason you are still here. Even after hearing all of this, even after recognizing pieces of yourself in these words, you didn't leave. That matters more than you think, because most people, the moment something begins to challenge the story they've been telling themselves, they run, they distract themselves, they scroll, they escape, but you didn't. And that tells me something about you. It tells me there is a part of you, still awake, still searching, still refusing to fully accept the lie you've been living under. And that part is powerful. But right now, it's been quiet for too long. It's been overshadowed by that other voice, the one that tells you to wait, delay, avoid, doubt. And here's something most people never realize. That voice isn't loud because it's right. It's loud because it's repeated over and over and over again. Your mind learned it through repetition, through experiences, through emotional moments that left an imprint. And anything repeated long enough, starts to feel like truth. But feeling like truth doesn't make it truth. Let that sink in for a second. Just because something feels real doesn't mean it is real. And your laziness, it feels real. It feels like something is wrong with you. It feels like you're the problem. It feels like you're broken in a way others aren't. But that feeling is the result of a program, not your identity. And today, we're going deeper than just understanding it. We're going to start dissolving it, layer by layer, because the program didn't form in one moment, so it won't disappear in one moment either. But the shift, the real shift, happens the moment you stop identifying with it. Right now, I want you to notice something. When you think the thought, "I'm lazy," who is observing that thought? Pause. Who is aware of it? Because if you can observe it, it's not you. That thought is something appearing, not something you are. And this is where your power begins. You are not your thoughts. You are not your habits. You are not your patterns. You are the awareness behind them. And awareness is where reprogramming becomes possible, because awareness creates space. And in that space, you get to choose something new. So the next time that old voice shows up, and it will whisper, "Not now. You're too tired." You'll do it later. Instead of obeying it automatically, you pause, you breathe, and you say, "I am not lazy. I am reprogramming my mind." Again, slowly. "I am not lazy. I am reprogramming my mind." Feel the difference. Before, that voice controlled you. Now, you're seeing it. And once something is seen, it loses its power. Not instantly, but inevitably. Because now, you're no longer unconscious. And unconscious patterns only survive in the dark. Awareness is light. And light changes everything. There's something deeper happening inside you right now, even if you can't fully explain it. A shift. Subtle, but real. Because for the first time, you're not trying to force yourself into action. You're understanding why you haven't been able to act. And that understanding removes the shame. And when shame disappears, energy returns. Think about that. How much of your energy has been drained? Not by the work you avoided, but by the guilt of avoiding it, the overthinking, the self-judgment, the constant inner pressure. That's exhausting, far more exhausting than the action itself. So when you remove the label, when you stop calling yourself lazy, you don't just feel better, you become lighter. And from that lighter place, action becomes possible again. Not forced, but natural. And this is the part no one talks about. You don't need more discipline. You need less resistance. Because when resistance drops, movement happens. Naturally, effortlessly, like water flowing downhill. And resistance comes from fear. So instead of asking, "How do I stop being lazy?" start asking, "What am I afraid of right now?" And be honest. Because the answer is always there, even if it's uncomfortable. Maybe you're afraid it won't work. Maybe you're afraid you'll start and then quit again. Maybe you're afraid people will see you trying and judge you. Or maybe you're afraid that you'll actually succeed and your life will change. And that unknown feels overwhelming. Yes, even success can feel unsafe. When your mind is used to a certain version of reality, so it keeps you where you are. Not because it's good for you, but because it's familiar. And the mind loves what is familiar, even if it hurts you. So understand this clearly. Your resistance is not your enemy. It's a signal, a message, pointing you toward something deeper. And when you start listening to it, instead of fighting it, you begin to heal it. And as you heal it, you begin to move again, slowly, gently, but consistently. Not because you suddenly became disciplined, but because you stopped being at war with yourself. And that's the real transformation. Not becoming someone new, but finally becoming aligned with who you already are. Because deep down, you've always known what you want. You've always felt that pull, that quiet knowing that there's more for you, more growth, more expression, more life waiting to be lived. But the program kept you small, kept you safe, kept you stuck, and now you're stepping out of it. Not all at once, but enough to start seeing a different version of yourself. A version that doesn't run from action, but understands it. A version that doesn't shame itself, but supports itself. A version that doesn't say, I can't, but asks, how can I gently begin? And that version is already forming inside you, right now. So stay with this feeling. Don't rush it. Don't try to turn it into immediate action. Just feel the shift, because the moment you respect your process starts working for you. And if something inside you is opening right now, if something feels a little lighter, a little clearer, then don't let this be the only moment you feel it. Stay connected to this. There are more layers waiting for you, more understanding, more shifts, and you deserve to experience all of it, because you were never meant to live your life believing you're lazy. You were meant to wake up, and you're already doing it.